Oh man, so Bitcoin could start to now get me really worried. I'm going to share with you what I'm seeing in the charts and why this has me a little bit apprehensive. And I've got a warning for all Fantom investors carrying on from my video yesterday. So make sure you stay tuned to the very end because you're going to want to see what this pattern is, because it's a pattern to the downside. And I really hope I'm wrong on this one, but I have to show you what I'm seeing in the charts. But first, the worrying here sign for Bitcoin, which obviously will lead where we go in the rest of the market and will dictate where all coins will go to, is we did indeed break from this M pattern which we were monitoring on Bitcoin. We met our price target right at the bottom. In fact, it went slightly lower than our price target. Our price target was at 46,800. You can see we wicked all the way down to below 46, right? We had a wick below 46,000, and this is now worrying, guys, because what this now means is we're now reached the price floors which we had from back in these points here. Okay, guys, you can see that's the kind of level we're at. And more worrying is what I want to show you is if we flip to the daily and I bring out our EMA ribbon, you will see we've been bearish for a long time now on our daily EMA. Now, whilst this isn't the be or end all, what would be in terms of Bitcoin and whether we're going to head into a bear market, and I know that's a question on a lot of people's minds, is this critical indicator right here. Because if this weekly candle, and by the way, for this weekly candle, we have 3 days and 16 hours left, okay? If this weekly candle closes below this EMA ribbon, let's get zoomed in here, guys. If this weekly candle closes below this EMA ribbon, so if it closes around the 43,000 mark, okay, just below that last bit of the EMA ribbon, at that point, we are officially bearish and could be entering a bear market for a sustained period of time, okay? Very important that we keep an eye on that, because the trend we're going on right now, you guys know I've made that very clear in my videos, that I do see, unfortunately, further downside risk for Bitcoin. Okay, the fact that we were unable to hold this rally, this was a very nice rally off the bottom of this wedge here. The fact that we at no point there were able to flip the daily EMA bullish indicates we could be seeing some more downward side. The momentum's being lost here by the bulls, and we could potentially be seeing the likes of 44,000 and then 43,000, because that's where our next level of support comes. In fact, longer term, like I've shared with you, and this is the worrying bit, is I don't see any major other support. So we've got some horizontal supports, like I've mentioned here at 43. You've got we lost the one at 47,850, but the next other support is from this violet line from our wedge. But that won't come into play until about 42,000. So we need to keep an eye on that range, because there could be a lot more further downside risk for Bitcoin. And what that could mean is we've entered this wedge, we broke to the outside, we could just be having a big correction and a bounce on this daily time frame. So that's something we want to keep an eye out on the longer term for Bitcoin. But what does that mean for Fantom? Because what we've got going on with Fantom is Fantom was holding up very strongly, right? When Bitcoin had its rally, we saw Fantom really move, and that was really impressive. And again, if I come onto the Fantom daily chart, you will see that we've been bullish, right? We've been bullish on our EMA for the last week or so, and been holding up relative strength, even though Bitcoin has started to cool off. But how long can this last for, right? If Bitcoin continues to have red day after red day after red day, if that weekly candle closes in bear market territory, it would be naive of us to think that Fantom will just continue to go up, right? So even though we have strength and we know Fantom is an in-demand, hotly chased layer one solution, we know it's going to do well for the long run, we've got conviction in that, we still have to be cognizant of the downside risk, right? And if I look at this on the daily chart, you can see we've got some support coming in at 194. So if this was to curl over, would we get a good bounce from 194? The next level being 179. But the thing I want to share with you most importantly, guys, is what I'm seeing on the 4-hourly. Because if I remove the EMA ribbon, you guys will know I made a video yesterday saying I hope I'm wrong on this one. And I continue to hope I'm wrong, because I mentioned that we were forming a bit of an inverse head and shoulders pattern. We could be breaking to the downside. Now, you can see over the last three 4-hourly candles here, we had a big red candle showing the bears were trying to push it down towards this inverse head and shoulders pattern, and then the bulls gave us a bullish engulfing candle, which is fantastic. Bullish engulfing candle is a very bullish indicator that you can now reverse this trend, but we have to see what happens over these next couple of 4-hourly candles. It's really important that we're able to get back above this neckline and recover out of this pattern. Okay, we need to see that as opposed to down here, because if we continue to the downside, if the bears get control back again, then that would have validated this inverse head and shoulders pattern and our technical price target from such a pattern. Let's do this here. very crudely on this iPad is very roughly, it's going to take you down to our horizontal, through our horizontal support of 179 and potentially down to the 174 mark here on Fantom. Okay, and the worrying sign is these bearish technical patterns, these bearish technical patterns on altcoins tend to play out more times than not when Bitcoin is in bearish territory, right? And right now Bitcoin is struggling. Another red day for Bitcoin today at the time of recording. And could that suggest we've got further downside risk on Fantom? We need to keep an eye on that, guys. Hopefully you guys found this useful. Just switching very quickly over to the weekly, just to remind you where we're at on Fantom, because you saw the weekly on Bitcoin. What's the equivalent view on Fantom? And you can see we've just had an absolutely power week. If you weren't invested in this week, you missed out on a lot of gains. Because I know there's a lot of people chasing up here and then they panic sell, and then they're not in for the pumps, right? So they're doing the opposite of what you need to be doing. You need to be buying low, selling high, right? Sounds obvious, but it's difficult to do. This is psychology, right? You got to manage your psychology. You got to have a high conviction, and then you're able to do this. So if this was to come now, if we, on the weekly here, Bitcoin was to retrace and therefore Fantom came back down further, will you be the person that would be buying the dip here? What are you going to do? Are you going to have cash on the side? Are you going to be ready? What's your mindset? Do you know how much you're going to... If Fantom tomorrow... Let's practice these scenarios, right? If Fantom tomorrow was to fall down to 179 support, are you buying? Are you a buyer-seller? If it falls down to 165, are you a buyer or seller? I mean, imagine it. If it fell to $95, are you a 95 cents? Are you a buyer or seller? It's worth going through these scenarios to train your mind in how to think. So that way, when the price moves quickly, like it does in crypto, right? We know Bitcoin can pump and crash very quickly, and altcoins can move at a multiple of that rate. You won't be caught panicking. You won't be in a panic mindset. You would have had these scenarios rehearsed and played out, so you know what to do. You know that, okay, Fantom goes to 180, this is what I'm doing. Fantom goes to 170, this is what I'm doing. If Fantom pumps to 250, this is what I'm doing. Have a game plan and play that game plan out. There you go, guys. Hope you guys found this useful, this blend between technical and fundamental analysis. As always, guys, if you want to support this channel, don't forget to hit the join button. You can become a member of this channel and support my efforts to bringing you these videos on a daily basis. But more importantly, you'll get access to our community thread where you can ask me questions one-on-one. Any of your questions on even on coins which we don't cover on this channel, feel free to ask me in there. As always, also guys, don't forget, pin comment will be the link to our free Discord server. That's completely free. You can tag me with any questions in there as well. Meet like-minded people and build this community together of pragmatic, sustainable investing. That's what this is about. No pumping, no chasing. Oh, I've got to spare $1,000. I want to put it in one coin, which is going to 1,000,000x. Not on this channel, mate. Go find another channel. This is for people who want to invest, who want to understand how to invest for the long term in crypto. And if you appreciate that, subscribe, join this community, and let's go on this journey together. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in the next one.